Alrighty, boys. We got our next playoff matchup. Nick and BDM both salivating for a championship spot to get to the final. Now, we've got the 1 seed, Nick, coming off a bye against BDM, the 5 seed, who just had a nail biter against Hansel. Ouch, Hansel. I know I'm going to eat these words if I leave points on the bench. But this is going to be a good one. I'm really excited, and I think that it's super, super even, to be honest. So let's get into it. So we got Mahomes versus Burrow. I think Nick takes the edge on this with Mahomes. Hansel shouldn't have traded him, even though I did tell you not to trade him at the time, and you did anyways. It's ending up looking like Nick won that trade because Mahomes has had an insane season. Burrow, again, remember BDM traded for him and Chubb from Tyler. So that's that's a pickup for him. Pretty good pickup. I think since he's picked him up, he hasn't gotten less than 16, 30, 18, 30, 16, 23. So he's had good games. Burrow usually turns it on at the end of the year. He's at New England. That's a harder matchup. Mahomes is at home versus Seattle. So I think that Mahomes takes this one, but Burrow's still going to have a solid game. He's not going to get less than 15. But Mahomes could go off for 30. Tyreek against Christian Watson. This is going to be a big game for Nick and BDM, this Miami-Green Bay matchup. You can see 3 out of their 4 receivers are in this matchup. So Tyreek, he's predicted an insane 25. He's going to get his. We already know he's going to get his, but we'll see. I mean, he's probably going to have that one blow-up play for a touchdown, and hopefully if Nick is lucky, it won't get too out of hand. But then again, he has Waddle, so who knows? But I think Christian Watson, he's had some good weeks where he had a lot of touchdowns, but I think teams are going to start keying on him more. I don't know how much that's going to continue. He just dropped 8 last week. He came back to earth. Let's see how that shakes out. I don't think Watson's that consistent yet. He is A-Rod's best receiver, but Green Bay doesn't look good. Miami's going to really take that. It depends on who gets more touches, Hill or Waddle. Godwin, he's been Tom's most consistent receiver when he's playing. When they're both playing, he always gets about 15 to 20. God damn it, because Mike Evans never gets touches. But that's a good play for BDM. Super consistent floor. That's a good play on Sunday night, Interdome. Chubb, that was another trade, actually, I believe. Godwin was also a trade that he got from Hansel, who before came from Nick. So actually, this is a revenge game for Godwin against Nick. Nick, a little devastated. He was in that original Patrick Mahomes trade. So we'll see how that shakes out. Awkward. Chubb against Henry. I think Henry's going to get this one. Obviously, he's playing Houston at home. Houston looked a little scrappy against KC, but I think he's going to get at least 20. Chubb's against New Orleans. He has a foot injury. We'll see, but Cleveland hasn't been as effective this year at running. Chubb's been really good, but I think New Orleans D is going to stand pretty firm. I don't think he gets over 20. I think Henry gets at least 20. I think slight edge for Nick. Barkley against Dalvin. This is a toss-up. They play each other, Minnesota versus the Giants. They're both good teams. Minnesota's coming off that huge comeback win. The Giants are coming off of a big division game win. So this one's kind of a toss-up. I think it's about 15 to 20 for both of them. I think it's kind of a wash. Tight ends, huge question mark, like always, except for me because I have Kelsey. Kittle, God, he went out for 28. Almost haunted BDM for the rest of his life, but Hansel's team kind of choked at the end, so he ended up pulling it out. But Andrews, he's also been super sketchy. I know he's projected 16, but he hasn't dropped 16 in a while. So I don't know how much I even trust that. I would almost go Kittle over Andrews, but both of them are sketch. Both of them can drop like 5, or they can drop like 28. Who knows? That's a complete question mark. No one knows. Flexes, I got Judy for BDM and Kamara for Nick. Kamara was Nick's number 1, his keeper, but he's been really bad. He traded for Dalvin. That was a rigged trade from Tyler. So he knew that Kamara had been super sketch. I mean, Kamara has one 40-point game, but other than that, he only has one game over 20 and only 2 games over 15. So he's got a lot of single-digit games. So I don't trust Kamara at all. That's a sketch one. I trust Judy more than Kamara, which is saying a lot. I don't think Sutton's coming back, so I think Judy's going to be the number one at in the Broncos offense, and I think he might get a touchdown. Latavius kind of went off last week, so I think it's time for him to get one. Kamara, I don't think he does well. Cleveland, good D. I think he gets 8. Second flex, actually, BDM doesn't have a second flex. I put Deontay in there because I think that's what he's going to do. McKinnon has been kind of a surprise, to be honest, for KC. He had 2 30-point games back-to-back. Is he going to be able to keep that up? I don't really know. I feel like it was kind of lucky. Like if you watch how he gets his plays, it's kind of lucky. But he's super fast and he's a good player out in space. So if they get him the ball, he could get it. So don't count McKinnon out. He's just in the past 3 weeks, he's starting to be fantasy relevant. So I don't know how much more I trust it. He could come back down to earth or he could keep going off. For Deontay, he's injured. I know BDM's still looking. Is it Foreman on the Panthers who just dropped negative? I don't think he wants to do that. Is it DJ Moore who he just picked up because Ryan just dropped him because Chandler dropped Tennessee, who's now playing against me. So this whole thing, DJ Moore shouldn't even be on the waiver. But he could be in that spot instead of Deontay because he did just drop 18 last week, but he's super inconsistent. That's a big question mark for both of them, I think. But I think McKinnon's a little safer. Defenses, Philadelphia, they're playing at Dallas. Not a good matchup at all, but they're pretty matchup proof. They're the best team in the league because of their defense and because of Hurts. But their defense keeps it in it. They have a super strong front seven, super strong secondary. Philly they won't be less than 5, which is what you want from your defense. 5 to 15. As long as you're not getting below 5, you're pretty good. Jacksonville at the Jets. I think that's a good play. Jacksonville's kind of hot. They're actually still playing for the playoffs. It's a big game. It's in New York, so it's going to be defensive. It's going to be super cold. It's Thursday night game. It's going to be bad weather. So it's on a short week. Zach Wilson's been not showing that he's that good. So I think that they get at least like 8 to 10. I think actually Jacksonville gets a little bit more. But guys, it's going to be a super good matchup. Too close to call for now. Good luck.